The greatest Chinese versus the greatest Japanese anime. Sounds like an easy win for Japan, right? I mean, how could a Chinese anime possibly compete with giants like Attack on Titan, Death Note or Frieren? Well, think again. Link Click, the highest rated Chinese anime, isn't just good. It's a masterpiece in the history of anime. In this video, I'm comparing Link Click with the greatest anime Japan has ever produced, and showing why it might actually surpass shows like Death Note, Attack on Titan and Frieren, and why the gap is way closer than you think, despite China having a much smaller and newer animation industry. Link Click has a rating of 8.7 on my anime list and 8.5 in IMDb, which is the highest for any Chinese anime. Link Click follows 3 friends. 2 of them have special abilities. One can travel back in time by entering old photographs and possessing the person who took the photo. The other one can see 12 hours into the past or future of what he looks at. This helps him guide his friend during the possession together. They use these powers to solve emotional and mysterious cases for their clients. Link Click blends multiple genres, falling under supernatural, mystery, thriller, drama, and even slice of life. The only reason I watched Link Click was because I had an idea for a YouTube video comparing the greatest Chinese anime versus the greatest Japanese anime, and I thought at the end of the title I was gonna write "It's not even close," but after finishing Link Click I had to change my title because it's that good. If I talk about the animation, then Link Click's animation is really good and top-notch. If I compare the animation with Death Note, I would say Link Click wins without any hesitation. But we also have to keep in mind that Death Note came out way earlier, so the comparison in this case isn't fair. But still, Link Click's animation is better, and it is what it is. Now, Link Click's season 1 is great, but from season 2 it gets on a whole other level. In the first episode of season 1, we see Xiaoling, the only girl of the group, bring work and photos of their clients to Cheng Xiaoxi, the black-haired one, and Lu Guang, the white-haired one, so that these two can look at the pictures and solve the problems their clients gave them. Most of the episode 1 was pretty average, nothing special, but at the end of the episode, they throw a huge twist and cliffhanger that will shock you and give you a glimpse that you are going to watch something great. They set this twist as the main plot for season 1, which comes into play at the end of season 1. After episode 1, the episodes get way better. The 2 friends get their clients and go into their lives, and at this point in the episodes, they don't really show much about the main characters. They focus on their clients, emotional, sad, unfinished regrets in life. They touch the drama and slice of life genre at this point, and it is done so perfectly, it made me feel like don't get out of the clients' lives. I don't want to see the main characters' lives, I want to see the life of people Cheng possesses. At the start of season 1, it will make the impression that the time traveling aspect is just a small part of the show. The main focus is on the regretful lives that people want to forget. In my last video, where I ranked the highest rated animes of all time, I criticized Frieren and Cowboy Bebop a lot in that video. You guys can check that video out, I'm gonna give you guys the link in the comment section. Now, Link Click exactly perfected the things that Frieren or Cowboy Bebop were trying to portray. It was easily an 8.6 out of 10 in those episodes for me. Some of you may give that portion a bit lower, but to me it was nearly perfect. I'm gonna come back to Frieren and Link Click's comparison later in the video, so stick around till the end. Now in Link Click, after a few episodes, we get to the last episodes of season 1, where the plot of the first episodes starts uncovering. Honestly, I was a bit disappointed because that plot was supposed to be the main point of the whole show. Mystery and thriller were supposed to be the main focus at that point, but it wasn't as good as I had expected or as the show had been offering at first. Even though the themes seemed different at the start, by the end of season 1, I thought this show is like an 8 or 8.2 because it couldn't keep up the greatness of the first half of the show towards the end. And I thought this show is good, but not comparable to all-time greats like Attack on Titan or Death Note. Now, don't leave the video yet, because what happened in season 2 was not even what I expected in my wildest dreams. Season 2 followed the same arc at the end of season 1. The same arc that was lackluster became one of the greatest arcs in anime history. Everything changed in season 2. The direction, the thrill, the mystery, the story became 100 times better, and no one would expect from watching season 1 that season 2 would be this good. It's like they changed the writer or director of the show to someone who's a master at telling stories like this. The previous one was a master at telling emotional stories and drama, and this one is a master at telling thrilling mystery stories. Many anime fans start their journey by watching Death Note, but later in their life, they find nothing equal to it. Death Note is an anime that is known as the greatest anime of all time by many fans, and I also felt the same. Although shows like Attack on Titan were great, the genre and pacing weren't the same as Death Note. But after watching season 2 and 3 of Link Click, I finally got the same feeling I had when I first saw Death Note. If I compare Link Click with Death Note, I would say these two shows are very close. In Link Click's case, I would say the main characters play the role of L instead of Light to solve the case they're trying to solve. I didn't like the dark vibes of Death Note. It's not typically the kind of show I enjoy, but the show was so good that I ended up liking it anyway. With Link Click, the vibes aren't that dark at the start, so I liked it a bit more than Death Note in that way. I've seen a few rare people in the world who don't like Attack on Titan or Death Note. For those few, I would say Link Click is perfect because it doesn't have that dark vibe that AOT or Death Note had. In season 2, the time traveling wasn't just a small part used by the show. It became a huge part of the show that was executed perfectly. And as time went further, we got to know our main characters really well. When I ranked the highest rated animes of all time, I gave Steins Gate a good rating, but Link Click took the time traveling aspects 2 steps higher than Steins Gate. Before watching Steins Gate, I had expectations that they would use the time travel like how Link Click used it here. Although I hadn't watched Link Click at that time, I still expected something like this, but still Steins Gate did a great job with what it tried to portray. Now, let's compare Link Click with the highest rated anime of all time in IMDb, Attack on Titan, which is a rating of 9.1 out of 10. Now, the problem with Attack on Titan is its mid-season arcs. They're slow. Yes, they do reveal a lot of the story, but because of the bad direction, I think it became a bit boring for the male seasons and for the half of the show. Link Click doesn't have this problem at all. Its pacing was as good as Death Note. Some might say even better depending on the individual. I said in my last video that Attack on Titan's story is more complex and better than Death Note. What I didn't say is that it's also quite confusing. I don't think I've found any person who understood Attack on Titan's complex story instantly when it was being released. In the case of Link Click, its story was just as complex as Attack on Titan, but the direction was so good that the audience will have no problem understanding a time travel based story like Link Click. Link Click also showed how strong the bond of friendship was between Lu Guang and Cheng Xiaoxi. Lu Guang in the anime is the smart, mature one in the duo, and he always wants Cheng not to change the past. He repeats it time and time again when Cheng wants to save someone from the past. There's a moment in Link Click where Cheng slightly changes the past, and because of that, a girl ends up dying in a really tragic way. And the thing is, Cheng doesn't even know it happened, but Lu Guang does, and he chooses not to tell Cheng because he knows Cheng would have tried to go back and save her. All throughout the show, Lu Guang keeps things like this from Cheng, and honestly, it made me really dislike him. He came off as cold and heartless. The show constantly shows how logical, calm, and calculated he is. He's always thinking about the bigger consequences. He believes changing the past recklessly can ruin the present, maybe even the society itself, and while that's true, it doesn't make it easier to watch him stay so distant. But then at the end of season 2, we see that when Cheng dies, Lu Guang goes to the past and takes extreme measures to make sure Cheng doesn't die in the future. And this hypocritical behavior seemed very wholesome to me, and it beautifully portrays their friendship. No matter how mature or logical you are, when it comes to your close ones, even the most mature or logical person will do the most illogical thing. Beautiful things in life like this are shown throughout Link Click, and it keeps building the mystery as you go further. As time goes on and more things are revealed, the story gets more complex in season 3. More of Lu Guang's power is revealed to us viewers. And many things the show gives us initially without explanation are brilliantly justified later. The only bad parts of Link Click, I would say, were the last 2-3 episodes of season 1, but those episodes weren't super bad, they were still good. It was just like the episodes after L died in Death Note. I think Light's death at the end was the perfect conclusion. It brought the story full circle and felt far more satisfying than if only L had died and Light had won. Before we go any further, please like the video, subscribe and click on the bell icon, because this helps my video to reach more people and motivates me to make better videos for you guys. Now, my first impression of Chinese anime wasn't great, to be honest. The first Chinese anime I watched was Spare Me, Great Lord, and it was good, but the animation at times got extremely bad and the direction was also pretty bad. They didn't even have official subtitles. It was fan subbed and had many mistakes. So I don't know if the direction was bad or the subtitles were far from the real story. Even one of the best Chinese anime, Fog Hill of the 5 Elements, didn't have a dub or sub. That made an impression on me that maybe the Chinese animation industry isn't as developed as I thought. But even though Chinese anime is new compared to Japan, in the past decade, the Chinese animation industry has made some really good anime or donghua. Fog Hill of the 5 Elements had some of the best animation I've ever seen. Some would say it has better animation than Demon Slayer. Still, a masterpiece like Link Click was unexpected from China. The reason why China is able to make great animes like Link Click despite having a smaller and new industry is because of its government. The government has been helping as much as they can to develop their animation industry. For this reason, their animation industry has developed a lot faster. This is the reason why we are also seeing 3D animation like Nezha 2 earning like $2 billion. And another reason I would say China is able to make great donghwas or animes like this is because of passion. The makers of these animes are paid what they deserve and also have great working conditions. Chinese animation studios spend way more money on the staff than Japanese animation studios. This is also the reason why passionate donghua or anime writers in China have been able to deliver animes that they are passionate about. And something that comes from the heart always does better than what you try to make only for business. Many Japanese people connected to the anime industry have said that the reason why Chinese and Korean animators are developing much faster is because they don't treat their work only as business like Japan. They also put their heart into their work, which is why great anime have been coming from them in a short amount of time. And I get why it's one of the few donghua that have official English dub or subs. The Chinese animation studios have realized they made a rare masterpiece that stands on the same ground as the greatest Japanese animes of all time. One thing bothers me the most is how underrated Link Click is in the anime community. And the reason I think it's underrated is because it's a Chinese anime. It doesn't have the promotional connection or legacy that Japanese anime has. That's why even though it's great, fewer people know about it because it's Chinese. I saw Giguk make a video about Link Click a few years ago. At that time the show was ranked 21 or 22 and Giguk gave a positive review but said it wasn't worthy of being in the top 25 animes of all time. And I agree with that opinion because he only saw season 1. But if Giguk had watched season 2 and 3, I don't know about him, but after watching season 2 and 3, I would definitely put it in my top 3 greatest animes of all time, along with Attack on Titan and Death Note. If this was a Japanese anime, shows like Frieren, Solo Leveling, Dandadan would be overshadowed by it easily with no problem. Recently, I've seen people online mad that Frieren didn't win the anime of the year and are calling it a masterpiece. And hearing that, I'm thinking, what if the people saying this watched Link Click? What would their opinion be then? I know some people are super passionate about their favorite animes and declare it the greatest anime of all time. Frieren and Fullmetal Alchemist are prime examples of this. Personally, I think if you love an anime, you don't need to be super biased and claim it's the greatest of all time. My favorite anime is Dragon Ball Z. Yes, I rate it highly, but I wouldn't say it's the greatest anime of all time. That title is a respectable one, and biased votes just make the title lose its meaning. Frieren Beyond the Journey's End has a rating of 9.3 out of 10 and is the highest rated anime of all time in my anime list. I said in my last video that Frieren's action, pacing, its serious arcs, thrilling moments, and character development are not as good as those of the greatest anime of all time. They are okay but not extremely good like Death Note, Attack on Titan, or One Punch Man. And some Frieren fans told me its action is a subplot and not the show's main goal. They say the main focus is on Frieren's life and her character development, and I don't buy that. In Frieren, magic and demons are a big part of the story. They have serious arcs based on that, and fans saying these are subplots that don't need to be as good as some action-heavy anime doesn't make sense to me. And the character development and slice of life and the drama part is also not that good. Shows like Link Click and Sangatsu no Lion are way better than Frieren, and they have way lower rating than Frieren. I know some of you Frieren fans are saying, but Frieren revived the dead genre. Now, if Frieren's the best anime of that genre, then I think that genre should stay dead. As I said in the last video, Frieren is good, it has potential, but it doesn't deserve ratings that high or the title of the greatest anime of all time. If a show deserves to be the greatest anime of all time, it should be Link Click, Death Note, or Attack on Titan. Link Click falls under so many categories, but it still portrays its subplots perfectly. Link Click is like all the highest rated animes like Cowboy Bebop, Frieren, Death Note, Steins Gate merged into one, and even better than Cowboy Bebop, Frieren Beyond the Journey's End, and Steins Gate. If a show deserves to be the greatest anime of all time, then its subplots need to be perfect too, which Link Click does perfectly and Frieren can't. Frieren is honestly like a 7.3 out of 10 for me. Even if someone likes it and gave it an 8 out of 10, then I would say, okay, that's fair, but 9.3 out of 10 is just crazy and I think it's way overrated by their fandom. Okay, now let's get to the final answer. Is Link Click the greatest Chinese anime better than the greatest Japanese anime? If you consider Frieren Beyond the Journey's End, then yes, Link Click is way better than this anime. But to be honest, there are way better anime in the Japanese industry than Frieren Beyond the Journey's End. Now, is Link Click better than the actual greatest animes of all time like Death Note or Attack on Titan? And the answer is yes and no at the same time. What I'm trying to say is I'm really confused. Is Link Click better than Death Note or Attack on Titan? Or is it just equally good or super close but not quite there yet? When you compare the greatest animes of all time, it's really hard to say which one is clearly better because all three are incredible. Now, Death Note and Attack on Titan are fully finished and Link Click is still ongoing, so the comparison is a bit hard to make. Death Note and Attack on Titan had really good endings. After finishing them, I really felt sad and thought I just watched something great. In Link Click's case, I did feel like I watched something great, but since it hasn't ended, I don't feel quite the same. Even though I think the way the story is going, Link Click will also have a great ending. So for now, I think Link Click has the potential to surpass Death Note and Attack on Titan. But still, since it's not finished, I'd say it's super close to them, but not quite as good yet. But don't get the impression that I'm saying Link Click is far behind. By super close, I mean if Attack on Titan is a 9.1 out of 10, then Link Click is a solid 9. And even the same for Death Note, it's that close, and it has the potential to be a 9.2 out of 10 in the future. So yeah, the greatest Chinese anime is surprisingly close to the greatest Japanese anime of all time, and arguably even better than them in the eyes of many fans. If you guys love anime and want to watch a masterpiece like Death Note or Attack on Titan, just go and start watching Link Click. And also let me know down in the comment section, what do you think about Link Click if you have watched it? If you are here till the end, I'm sure you enjoyed the video, so don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, click on the video on the screen where I ranked the highest rated animes of all time. Thanks for watching the video. Goodbye.